What's that saying? Matter cannot be created nor destroyed, is only repurposed.
I like this iteration of me though, and even if the next iteration is better, it ain't this one.
You won't
I
know
don't
that
like
though.
this one. You think it'll be worse?
No, I'm saying you won't know if the next iteration of you is better because it won't be you anymore. It'll be a different version of you.
See, that don't help. I'm
I
losing
mean,
myself.
you're not losing yourself. You are, I mean, you are going to be wherever you exist. And then the other version of you is going to exist where the other version of you is.
But I won't have the consciousness of knowing the other version of me exists at the same time I'm the me.
Do you
And if
need
I
it?
did, I'll. Oh, that's deep.
Do you want
That's
to live in an existence where you know that there is another version of you that exists? Because what good can come of you finding that other version of you? Either A, they're going to be better than you, and then you're going to feel bad because you can't live up to what they are, or B, they're going to be worse than you, and you wonder if you can fall into being that worst version of yourself. So the bliss
don't
is
you
in
come
not knowing.
don't you come on here with all this introspective blowing my goddamn mind. Oh, I needed this conversation and I didn't even know it. Stepmoms around the world are, logging off or something.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I don't know what that meant, but we'll just
I,
keep going. Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I am joined once again by Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I am infinitely awesome, sir. Thank you for asking. How are you doing, Spider?
I
What's
am
going on with you?
I'm doing great.
I
Oh
thought you were
man.
about to say I am Groot.
No, I am not Groot. Groot, there's only, well, I can't even say that there's only one Groot, but I am not Groot.
There is only one Groot.
No,
Then
there
there's
are
Alpha
multiple
Groot
Groots.
and Baby Groot.
That's multiple Groots.
Well, there's still only one Groot.
I mean, there's one as far as we know. What if there are other Groots somewhere else?
Then they would say they
They would
were
say that
Groot,
they were Groot. So there would also be Groots.
but they're not though.
Is it a hive mind? Is there only one Groot and all other Groots are just extensions of the one Groot?
Well, they said the new Baby Groot was a different Groot than the other Groot, but they
Right.
never said if the consciousness of the Groot was the same. It's a James
Didn't
Gunn
it say
question.
that
I don't think he's
that
taking
Groot
Guardian
did
questions.
retain the memories of the previous Groot?
Well, that would be horrible because that would make. Why would he be able to communicate if he had the memories like of if you were? That's horrible. I can remember a life before this one, but I can't talk about it because I don't have the vernacular
I mean,
to say
he's
words.
baby
But I
Groot
remember
still spoke.
words.
I mean, it's
But
not
he
like,
said I am Groot.
yeah, it's not like the original Groot from Guardians 1 said anything other than I am Groot and then said we are Groot. So he had two additional words.
Are you trying to say Groot slow?
No, I'm saying that Groot has a language that Groot speaks.
Right.
And just because the new Groot came up as, even if the new Groot retained the memories of the old Groot, that doesn't mean that he couldn't communicate. Baby Groot
I'm not saying
communicated.
he couldn't. Yes, but it was more than I am Groot. It's like inside of I am Groot meant many different things. I
And
thought you was only saying that he only said those
no,
words
I'm saying
as
that
in
we
only
only
those
heard
words.
those words and we heard him pick up the two new words, we are, before he sacrificed himself.
Right. But when he says I am Groot, that's
Yeah, it
many
has
things that could
an
mean.
infinite number of meanings, but I'm saying even when
Yes.
Baby Groot started speaking, he was still able to communicate just as well as the other Groot was.
I know. I like when he communicate with Gamora. Hi.
Hi. Oh, but we're not here to talk about Groot. We're here to talk about Daredevil
Hey,
Born
hey, hey,
Again.
we're in the
What?
same universe. Give us
I
respect for
know.
that. You
But
know, we
listen,
normally,
Groot will have his day in the sun next time Groot shows up on screen.
what do you mean? He just had his own little series on
How
Disney.
long ago was that?
Hey, 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 we don't do time here. We don't do time. Wait a minute. Let me unplug. All right, we don't do time. I'm not tethered to anything. We're free. We're floating. Timeless.
Yes, we are free to talk about Daredevil Born Again. That's what it
You
is.
know when that came out?
A couple months ago.
remember that? Remember that time when Daredevil Born Again came out? All right,
It was
if we
what,
go get into this Spider,
7 weeks ago, right?
yeah, somewhere in time, we had the conversation about Daredevil, and you and I had a little wager going on. I don't know how many people saw that episode, but if you don't, if you didn't,
Go check out
it's it's there somewhere in the queue. If you
the trailer
subscribe,
reaction. Yeah, go check out the trailer reaction because we
if you
did the.
subscribe
If you subscribe, you'll be you know
up
when
to
the new
date,
episodes come out. But we did the
there you
trailer
go.
reaction for Daredevil Born Again, and then we did a recap and review of the first 2 episodes. So those are on
Dang
the
it, Nick.
channel if you want to go
Dang it.
check those out. You know, if
We're so
you
unlike you.
haven't been caught up, check those out and then you can come back because this is we're
All
going to
over the
give a
devil.
full season review. So we're talking about everything that happened in the first season, excuse me, of Daredevil Born Again.
But you shouldn't neglect those other videos because they actually aid to this one. But we're not recapping. I'm just saying what we discussed. It's not a full recap. We had a wager if Daredevil would end up in the dumpster. I'm so proud of my boy that he did not end up in the dumpster this season.
He didn't. He
Though,
also didn't do as much, I would say, within the first within the seasons, the Netflix seasons of Daredevil. He absolutely
uh
did
huh,
a lot more fighting as Daredevil than he did in this
yeah,
season
got a lot
of
going on.
Born Again.
Well, you know, Foggy died, so we're depressed devil now. We're not Daredevil. We're
Depressed
depressed
Devil.
devil. Yeah, the D is for
I
depressed.
don't think he was.
Why? Because he started dating again. He needs an
No,
outlet.
he absolutely needed an outlet, but I don't think that it didn't show him grieving, which may be the reason why he was never able to fully process everything
I
because he
think
was
that's what
still
they were
holding
going
on
for. It
to
was
it.
only like a year later.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the
So
time
you
by the
know,
time we got to the end of the season, it was about a year and a half after Foggy was killed.
yeah. I mean, come on. This is the guy that they went to law school together. Come on. It's like he's no wait. A year and a half is nowhere near enough time.
No, but I
But
mean, he got right back in the saddle. He got into a new law firm and tried to move on with his life. Got a new place. Got out of Hell's Kitchen. I
uh,
think he was trying to leave all of that behind so he wouldn't have to think about it. But then he still kept the obituary on his counter so he could read it every day.
torture himself.
Yeah,
He could take a punch, and he has a lot of torturing of himself, and I think that's what they wanted you to experience. You wanted to experience a broken Matt Murdock and a retired Daredevil. Listen, who can blame him? Best friend shot, killed, not even getting the answers why, didn't even know why in that process. Not in the dumpster though. Not in the
no,
dumpster.
not in
So
the
I'm gonna
dumpster.
take this opportunity and give respect where respect due. I thought he was gonna he got shot though.
He did get
Did get
shot
shot. Didn't understand why he got shot. Sacrificed himself just for the kingpin. Not really understanding that because you already know at this point in time, Kingpin's up to something. Can't really quite put your finger on it, but you know Vanessa, Kingpin's wife, had something to do with Foggy's death. Something put the hit out on him. You know this, and you still take a bullet for the Kingpin.
because as when he went and visited Bullseye in prison, and Bullseye was trying to get him to represent him in court, he told him, he was like, "Isn't that what you do? You're a good guy. You defend the bad guy, even though that you know the bad guy is bad, because that's what good guys do." And so that's what he did. He heard the shot coming, and so he jumped in front of Kingpin because he
No,
is
that's
a good
called
guy.
dumbass. It's not a good guy. It's a
Okay.
dumbass. Because again, as Daredevil, I need you to do some Daredevil shit. Like throw a drink tray and ricochet the bullet
And how
and
can he do that without
something.
giving away his secret identity?
You blind, man. Nobody knows what's going on. I ain't even paying attention to you. Like nobody
So
watching you like that.
a blind man in the middle of a
Huh?
dance floor full of
In the
people is going
middle
to
of a
grab a
dance floor.
tray and throw it with pinpoint accuracy at a sniper on the balcony that's probably like 40 feet
No, no,
away
not
and two stories
just
up.
block the bullet. Just block the bullet. I seen you do a cannonball into a
There's
man leg. I know you
nowhere
can.
near enough time for him to do that.
Okay, well, why you gonna sacrifice yourself? Listen, I'm tired of putting the emotion into Daredevil. I just want him to be okay, and he keep doing reckless things.
He's
I feel like
he is the
Foggy now.
man without
I feel.
fear. The
I
man
need you
without
to
fear
slow
is going
down.
to live his life without fear. He's not going to
This is
stop
not
and think about what's
Novocaine.
happening, what's going to happen. He's been that way the entire show. It
I
doesn't
need.
matter what happens to him as long as the people that he is trying to protect are safe.
So you protecting the kid? I was so happy
He's
when the
he's
Punisher
he's
lit
not
into him.
he's not protecting the
You gonna take a
kingpin.
bullet for them too?
He's protecting a
That's what you
life.
doing.
Well, he's protecting a life because he knows if the kingpin were
Oh
to get
man.
murdered, he would be a martyr. And everybody would rise up in his name and all of New York City would burn.
Lot going on in the finale of in the finale of Depressed Devil Spider. Um, so much going on. You would think that you would see some other people in New York. I don't know, maybe make a phone call or team up because we had mass riots in the streets.
Yeah.
And if any time is a time to team up, you would think a defender's call would have came through. Maybe a what are we doing in this episode in this season here? Because first of all, let's just pull the elephant out the bag. All right, we were told we were getting 18 episodes
Well, they
of this
already,
show.
yeah, but they've been changed that. They've been changed that well
Why?
before the first season came out.
So that
We
means
talked about
season
that
one
last
and
time we reviewed the
well,
first couple episodes.
this is a different episode of that episode. So
Okay.
we're addressing this. So we were told we were getting 18 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, we getting 8 episodes.
9 episodes.
And then we got 9 more for season 2.
Yes.
So basically season 1 and season 2 are shot.
Yes.
They got them. They got them. They got the actors. They got them. Because, again, you only paid them for the 18, but you broke it up, season 1 and season 2. If we would have did just season 1 and going back and renegotiated season 2, we would have had a different conversation. But they did this. They're doing season 3, so they might have worked it out. But I'm just saying, you could have gave us a longer time to kind of vet this story out a little more. And I guess I don't know how you want to attack this one. I don't know how you want to chop it up.
I mean,
I
we
don't know how
can
you want to sushi roll it, and then
not the sushi roll.
yeah, you got to roll it and then chop it up
No, I mean,
and then serve it.
so you asked the question, where are we going with it? We'll begin at the end. So at the end of
Okay.
Daredevil season 1, mass riots in the streets because Kingpin Mayor Wilson Fisk has launched a vendetta against all
His
vigilantes.
whole name, whole government name. God
I mean,
damn.
that's his name, Mayor Wilson Fisk.
I-
Otherwise known as the
I know
Kingpin.
that's- Whoa. We don't associate those.
I
Mayor
mean, with
Fisk
his
is an
actions
honorable mayor.
his actions at the end of the season, telling police officers turn off body cams, go and stop people by any means necessary. That's
Yeah,
kingpin behavior.
these vigilantes are out of control. They got to be stopped.
There are two vigilantes in the city.
Well, one now. There's
Yes,
Daredevil.
there's one now. I mean, if you want to call the Punisher a vigilante, but he's not masked. So
Oh no, I was talking
is
about
he on Fist's radar because he doesn't have a
no.
mask on?
He is a war hero. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
okay.
He's a war hero that has PTSD and has clearly lost his way.
And they still locked him up.
Well, worst thing you could do is lock the Punisher.
The worst thing you can do is have some kind of rookie guard is just thinking he could walk up to the Punisher's cage, shake his hand, and think nothing's going to happen to him.
Oh my god!
As much as they idolize the Punisher, as much as they idolize him,
they don't know nothing about him.
Exactly. How do you walk yourself into that trap?
Dude, okay. Let's just talk. And for all y'all who hadn't seen Daredevil, Born Again, clearly
We're
you
gonna
don't know
bounce
what
all
we're
over the
talking
place,
about.
so
We're
it
bouncing all
might
over
not
the
make
place.
sense if you haven't seen it.
So thank you for hanging out for us, and we're probably gonna ruin it for you. But if you had no intentions on watching it, you're in the right place. If you have intentions on watching it, you may well watch it to know what we're talking about, and then come back here. But if you just like us, stick around. So Frank is crazy.
Oh, we know that
Frank
already.
goes straight to like ding dong, I'm here. Like this dude walks head first into like an ambush and just starts shooting it out. One man. Like that's crazy.
That's Frank Castle.
I don't want no problems with this dude.
No, you don't. You absolutely do not.
How you feel about the shootout scene in the end when Daredevil's like trying to knock people out and Frank is just slaughtering people?
I mean,
Big contrast.
it shows a contrast between their morality and their ideals, and it was so apparent. And here's the thing that I don't get, because so I forget the guy's name, the one who's supposed to be leading the task force. That was God, what was his name?
Kruger?
Because it was only in a
I know
few
I got.
episodes. But the guy
I
that
know I got
shot
Kruger.
Hector Ayala.
Oh, the one that got his hand stapled to the wall.
Yeah. Cole North was his name. So yeah,
Cold hand.
so Punisher takes a blade, basically pins his hand to the wall, and he's about to get up and he's about to shoot. Well, because he shot at the Punisher, and Punisher found his shell that had the Punisher logo on it, because Matt earlier in the season found that shell and saw that that was the bullet that was used to kill Hector Ayala, the White Tiger.
Yeah, yeah, the white tiger.
And so, with that shell being found, Matt is like, "You're the one who killed Hector," and we see Matt struggling because he punches him, knocks him out, but we can see that he wanted to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank is about to pull a gun and kill him.
Oh yeah.
But Matt says, "No, not like this." And so Frank is like, "Oh, so you want to protect him? You want to protect the bad guy? What about that guy? You want to protect him too?" And just blows him away. Yeah. And so here's the thing. So Matt has this ideology that he doesn't take lives, right? He tries his best to not kill people. He tries his best to protect people so they don't get killed, which is what we were talking about, what happened with Fisk. He made no attempt, no effort, didn't even say stop when Frank was talking about shooting the other guy. He just let that one happen. So that guy is just gone. But then at the same time, like you said, all the other guys, Frank laid into all of them, shot him up, stabbed him up, while...
Well, there was a stop moment that he was trying to stop him, but at the same time, we're fighting for our lives,
Yes, we
so
are fighting for our lives.
my stop might not be as loud over the gunfire because I know you're on my side.
Yeah.
While these guys, I might not get. I'm still blind. I'm Daredevil, but I'm still blind. So I may not see something coming while you got eyes on my six while I handle this guy
Yeah,
with
there
my
was a moment in time where
phone.
when he threw the knife at Cole's hand, it stopped him from shooting Daredevil. Daredevil also threw his baton at another guy and stopped him from shooting Frank. So they saved each other's lives.
Right, right. It's mano y mano. Plus, Frank's crazy,
Yes.
and I think we should not state that. Dude is mentally unstable.
But it's I'm glad that they stayed true to the character. It was an extreme ramp up in violence for that episode because
Yes,
between the shootout in the apartment and what Kingpin did to Commissioner Gallo, there was a lot of blood being shed in this last episode.
yes. Uh, I think I would have been all right with them not doing that. And this is just me.
The
I
not the
think I would
shootout
have
or not fist crushing his
no
man's skull.
fist crushing the skull of the commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would have preferred if they would have not crushed it to collapse, but crushed it to like an aneurysm. Time to like the pressure was so much that eyes will bleed, ears pop, and then that's enough
Mm-hmm.
that he died. It would have been way more fulfilling for me than him breaking a jaw and the partial temple of the commissioner. Because we want to say Fisk is strong, and we probably want to dial it down from ripping doors off cars. I just think it's all right. It's just disbelief, suspicion of disbelief, just kind of left the building when I seen him. Maybe a lead up to something, maybe a little foreshadowing of you doing so, like because you've been docile the whole season.
I mean, up
You
until he
know,
fought Adam.
well, he beat the shit out of Adam.
I mean, that
God
was the
damn,
beginning.
like, well, at the same time, there was nothing inhuman about it. That was just a grade A ass whooping. That was like, yeah, you touched my wife, and I would have respected more if you like stepped on his hands or broke his hands or even took his hands off. I mean, if you go torture him, you know, torture him, right? Never torture. Just for everybody that's watching,
And that's the
all
thing. I
things
think
super is not condone torturing
Kingpin has
unless you
always
have a
been.
feather. If you have a feather, you're getting tickled.
I mean, that's a form of torture for some people. Some people
I
hate
mean,
that.
I'm just saying. Hey,
But Kingpin has never
safe
been
torture.
methodical in his brutality. He's been very conniving. He's been very intelligent in how he willfully shares information or willfully withholds information in order to get people to do something that he wants them to do. But it's never been I'm going to slowly hurt you to try to extract information from you, or slowly hurt you to try to get you to bend to my will. That he'll have people do that. He won't do that. That's what I'm saying. He
I don't
himself
know.
won't do
That
that.
that threat that he gave to Sheila was seems exactly what that was. It's like
What threat?
what he said. I'm trying to see who's on my team, and
Yeah,
let's
that's what I'm
have a
saying.
conversation.
He's intelligent about how to get people to do what he wants, but he's not using torture as that device. Physical torture.
Yes.
He's not the type of person to go in and start ripping somebody's fingernails off to try to get them to tell.
No.
That's what I'm
No.
saying.
No.
So
No.
that level of brutality of him crushing a skull, that is in Kingpin's wheelhouse. And we saw this slow, gradual descent for him to get back into that, because we start the season off, he's, oh, I love this city, I want to improve this city, I want to help this city, I want to reform the city, I want to restore the city to its former glory. And then
Yeah,
at
but we
every
learned that it
turn,
was bullshit.
well, no, it
Yeah, it
wasn't
was.
that it was bullshit. It was that he was trying to do
Uh,
something in a way that he thought he could just follow the rules and then be able to do what it is that he wanted to do. But there was all the extra stuff that came along with being the mayor, the appearances, the performances, all of this like high level stuff. But then when he starts to see everything that was going on in the underworld, Luca trying to take control, not knowing exactly what Vanessa was doing. Well, he knew what Vanessa was doing, but all of that stuff, and
she
he
was
saw that.
out this bitch winning. She was winning what she was doing, making that money.
But when he sees all of the stuff that's going on, and he's like, okay, well, here's a way that I can still keep my empire and still save face as being mayor. So he rounded up all the elite and dug up all their dirt and said, "Look, I need help on this Red Hook project." And nobody was like, "Well, look, we don't. You're not one of us. We're not giving you any money." He's like, "Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
tried to do it the politician way. Now let me go do
Mm-hmm.
it the Kingpin way. So I'm gonna bring you in my. I'm gonna bring you in the principal's office one by one, and we're gonna talk
And
about
start.
what you've been doing and how I would just put it all out on blast unless you help fund my project."
Mm.
So we get to see him follow that path and getting back into being a kingpin, to where now, like he told Buck, a dead lawyer is better than a live vigilante, because if it ever came out that Matt is Daredevil and they find out, oh, there's a vigilante that the mayor is saying is all bad, but this one vigilante actually saved the mayor's life, then maybe they're not all that bad. Maybe we need to start supporting vigilantes because they're doing good out there. So we have to take that equation off the board. So he's going back off of his promise that he wasn't going to send anyone or hurt Matt, Karen, or Foggy. And so once that cat is out of the bag, I might as well just full on slip back in the kingpin. So I got to do what I got to do.
Horrible. Simply horrible.
It's
God
Wilson
damn.
Fisk doing what Wilson Fisk does.
Get this man some cufflinks and
I'm
a new
sure
gun with
in
a
season
stone.
2 is probably going to open up with him getting dressed and putting on his cufflinks.
Well, he's in his comic accurate outfits now, which is the
All
all
those
white
white
suit.
suits, yeah.
Yeah, well, he was doing white before Miss Lisa the, the, from the Players Club.
That's a that's a pull. If
Lisa.
anyone listening or watching knows about Players Club, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. You know what I'm talking about, baby. Hey, hey.
It's crazy pull. But
So
so you weren't a fan of the brutality that they showed in the last episode. But what about
it's
everything
not
leading
it's
up
not
to
the
that for the
it's
Kingpin?
not the brutality. It's just that the one image, that one scene. I just listen. I understand Kingpin's all muscle. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
He's all muscle, super strong. No super soldier serum. It is what it is. But everybody don't know that. Everybody don't know that.
That's why he had to
So
put on the show for his task force. It's like, look, you are working for me, but I want you all to know, just in case you don't agree with something I say, and you might think about rising up, this could be you. It doesn't matter. This was the police commissioner. Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it was. Yeah, and he was sold out by somebody he thought he could trust.
Yep. But she wanted to save her
And
neck
she could have just retired.
and went
If she
where?
thought it was,
And went where that Fisk would not be able to find her.
she didn't have to go anywhere. She could retire. She doesn't have to go anywhere. She could just go home and retire. There's no one she can tell. He owns the police. She knows that. There's no one
So
he could
you
tell.
think that you don't think that Fisk would consider that a loose end that needs to be tied?
No.
This is
What does
his.
she?
I don't even know
What does she?
what her position is, but she's like the
She's
mayor's
like an
right hand.
advisor.
Yeah, but she knows everything that he's been up to.
No, she doesn't, because she doesn't know about Red Hook.
She doesn't know exactly what he's attempting to do with Red Hook, but she knows that he's been pushing this Red Hook initiative and he's willing to do
Yes.
whatever it is. She was in that same room when he called the task force to say, get out there, do whatever you have to do, take these vigilantes out, and don't worry about laws. You all answer to me. You don't have to follow the law. I give you permission to do what you need to do. Her being in that room for that conversation makes her a liability if she were to leave his cabinet.
Mm, if she runs her mouth, yeah.
And
But
you think that for 1 second she could tell him, I promise, I swear I won't say anything, I'll sign an NDA, I'll do whatever it is that you want me to do, I will not open my mouth, and he'll still let her walk out that door?
no, I think it's just too far gone at this point now. But at the
That's what
same
I'm
time,
saying. So she had no other choice but to sell Gallo out if she wanted to survive.
that's horrible, dude.
It is horrible, but that's the way that these things are.
But there was no out before then, because Gallo tried to get out.
Gallo
No,
did
he
try to get
tried to
out.
he tried to throw the biggest middle finger up as he left, but Kingpin was like, "Nah,
And that's the
you're
thing.
not going nowhere."
If who knows what dirt, because what was her name? Sheila. Who knows what dirt Sheila has? Not on what dirt that Kingpin has on Sheila, I should say. We don't know what she's been up to. And it would be just no sweat for Buck to find that and just hang it over her head. So before it
Is
even
this
comes to that, I'm on your side. I will do what it is that you need me to do.
is this the New York that we want? Is this the New
No,
York
this is not the New York
that
that we
we
want.
want?
That's the idea.
Yes,
That
it is. We voted for Kingpin. We
yeah.
voted
Oh,
in Kingpin we trust.
okay.
I need a slice right now.
So not to get too into politics, but even though people voted for Trump, do you think
Okay,
that
here we go.
everybody is saying that this is the America that they want right now? Even though that's what they voted for, you have a whole bunch of people saying, "Yeah, I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote for him to do this."
Wait a minute. Are we not great again?
So in Daredevil, we had we got Bullseye came back. We talked
Yeah,
we talked about this
he's
off
coming back.
we talked about this off episode about the way he was able to escape from prison by taking his tooth out and spitting
Yeah,
it at the
essentially
guard.
it's the same thing that we were saying. Like, if they would have dialed that back down some for you,
Yeah,
you felt like it would have been a better scene. I feel like if they would have dialed the Kingpin crushing the head
right.
down, it would
There
have
were
been a better
yeah,
scene.
because you could have easily, even if you didn't show, because I did see that they did the whole thing practically. Of course, they had a standing head for Gallo, and that was how they could like break the jaw, rip the skin off, because it didn't look like it was physically accurate to what would happen if you were to do that. Because
Yes,
Fist started with his hands up here, right? He was squeezing his head.
yes,
And then by the
yes,
time he broke everything, one hand was all the way down here, like kind of ripped his jaw off,
yes,
and the other hand was here, and it's like almost ripped his skin off, kind of sorta.
yes.
So my understanding of the human anatomy is
There
that
we go.
if you were to crush someone's skull, yes, even if you
Mm-hmm.
crushed it to the point to where it collapsed their brain, you broke the skull and everything, I don't
Ugh,
know.
Spider Man. This is
I don't know if the
They're like
skin would rip
Novocaine all
though.
over again.
Yeah, I don't know if the
Well,
skin would rip in that in that way.
it would if you use a prosthetic little
Yeah,
mannequin's
but that's what I'm
dummy.
saying. If this is supposed to be realistic, I don't think that the skin would act that way.
And that's what I'm saying. If they would have kept it in realism,
If they would have kept it
the
in
the
realism,
the
they could.
pressure
Yeah,
alone that you're saying that's a superhuman person, just this pressure, the eyes bulge, maybe not out the skull,
yeah, but
but just bulge,
mm-hmm,
blood trickles from the eyes and
something.
maybe ears,
And then
and
what
then
you do
you
is
know he collapsed the
you
brain.
cut to the task force that's watching, and you hear Gallows scream, and you hear the squish, and then you cut back. Fist's hands are covered in blood. Gallows' body falls. So we don't see the
Boom,
actual push,
boom,
but
yeah.
we
You
get
save all
we
the
get what happened. So you
you
save.
save all the rated R blood juice for a finisher because this dude is crazy,
Yeah.
insane.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree that they could have went about that a different way, because I understand that they wanted to use practical effects for that to make it look more believable, but then in the end it didn't look as believable. That would be my whole complaint with the show in its entirety, or the season in its entirety, that
Really?
the effects, whether they were practical effects or whether they were CG effects, they didn't it was more misses than there were hits. Because even talking about the first episode where we get Daredevil swinging and running over rooftops and stuff like that, when we get him landing on that balcony in the first
Uh-huh.
episode, it was clearly CG. But the thing about it is that he landed all of like half a foot, maybe a foot from, like, he hit the wall and then landed on the balcony.
Yeah.
And it was just cut so awkwardly. And then when he hit the balcony, it like there was camera shake. Like he hit it with such force that he shook the whole building. And then
Mm.
it was an awkward cut, and then shows him like standing back up. But even when he landed, he wasn't that low down. And so there was
You
that.
heard something. Okay.
Ankle.
Okay, running on these rooftops, trying to get back into the swing of things. You looking around and pop an ankle.
And then there was another scene where he was running across a
Ah,
rooftop, and I think it was, I don't remember what he was trying to do, but he was running across the rooftops, clearly
too
CG.
much.
But it was, no, it was just
Trying to
clearly
do too
CG.
fucking much.
Whereas we look at season 1 of Daredevil on Netflix, and we have Matt parkouring across rooftops, flipping over stuff all unnecessarily. But it was live action,
Right,
practically
right.
a stunt person
Get
running
them
across the
cars
rooftops.
burned.
So I don't
Yeah,
know. It's like they
just
increased
easily
the
walk
budget
around
for special effects, but they decreased the budget on set.
for acrobatics.
So
Yes.
I don't know what the difference in that was. And even when he went to the roof and he was like, he had the sticks and he was practicing and everything, it's like, this is clearly a sound stage. The background is all CG. I think the blending for these nighttime shots, once when he was on the roof and he was training, and then in the last episode when they were at the, I guess at the port, I guess they were in Red Hook, where it was Matt and Karen, and they're like hiding behind a bunch of junk, and they're looking at the ship, and they're seeing all the task force people and everything, and you can again
So you
clearly
can
see
see the
that the
lights.
background is CG.
So
It
you
of
can see the
I
lights.
just film at night one day. If you
Or
have
use a filter.
if you have to, like, because I don't know what it is, because we were talking about this with House of the Dragon when they were shooting at night, where they were shooting that day, but then they changed the in the edit to make it look like nighttime, but then it was like
Right.
super dark for no reason, that you could barely see anything. It's just, I don't know what it is about not being able to shoot at night, and not being able to get the lighting exactly right as it would be if you're shooting at night. I don't know, but it didn't look as good as I think that it could have looked. And I think that was the effects in a lot of places was a low point for me for this season.
when you say that, what comes to my mind is the fight between Bullseye and Daredevil the same night Foggy got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Slinging and flinging other blades and the blocking with the baton and the getting stabbed
Yeah.
several times. And it's like, I really, I can't help but to be the Foggy of.
You're like, Matt, what are you doing?
like I'm like, dude, just stop.
There,
Just stop. Just
there is no
live a
quit.
normal life.
There is no quitting Matt Murdock. Here's
Like
here's my here's my
who
question.
hurts you? Like you're dating a therapist and you still can't unpack your trauma.
No, he
She's
can't.
ready to leave you.
I mean, to in all fairness, I don't think they're really good for each other at this point.
I don't think they were good for each other in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship was kind of just thrown together. Um,
Hey, he was mourning,
he
okay?
he was, he
And
was.
he needed something to get under. I mean, over. I mean, Drew. I mean, combined companion. He needed something. She Hulk wasn't enough or available. Clearly,
I guess not.
I
But
guess
what
that
was I
just
about to
lets you
say?
know that man don't have no boundaries. He'll go any color.
I mean, we already knew that.
Ouch! All right,
I mean,
again, new show, new show.
new show, but still holding on to what happened in the previous show. So all of that
Yes,
is still canon.
yes.
So
If y'all watched our other
Karen,
shows,
Rachel,
keep going.
all of them. I mean, because there were others, but I don't know all of
Right.
them
There were
names.
other
I don't know all of their names. Um,
Jennifer Walters.
well, yes, and She-Hulk. But
Yes. And the others.
one thing that I did like about the show, like I said earlier, is that there was a lot more
Misses.
Daredevil in the Netflix Daredevil in this Daredevil Born Again because we had, and like I was saying before, I thought when I was given,
Because he
we were
was
giving our
retired.
predictions. Well, yeah, we were giving our predictions when we did the trailer reaction that we were saying that there has to be something that brings Matt back to being Daredevil. And so we thought it was going to be with Muse. We thought it was going to be the abduction of Dr. Glenn, Heather Glenn, his girlfriend. I guess they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
But we
Again,
thought that it
they're a
was going to
couple.
be,
They're something.
yeah. But we thought it was going to be, or at least I thought it was going to be her abduction that would bring him back to being Daredevil so he could make sure that he saved her. And so where we did get her, I guess, abducted. He held her
He
captive in
was.
her office.
Muse
Yeah.
did, yeah.
And so
And that was his official return.
that no, because he returned before that. He returned before that to save Hector's niece. That's what got him back in the suit.
That's what got him back in the suit.
Yeah.
He did it for Hector niece because Muse was about to suck her dry.
Yeah. And
Why does she have the amulet yet? What's going on?
she
She
because
got it, but she don't have it.
she got it, she's, well, I mean, the family has it, but the family's not using it. And I don't think that she becomes White Tiger until
Young Avengers
her mom
champion.
is first, because Ava Ayala was not Black Panther, was the White Tiger after Hector.
Mm.
And I don't think that Ava was her mom. I think Ava is her aunt, is another sister of Hector. I don't know. I could be mistaken.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
yeah, it was weird because here's the thing. We know that they had a story. They shot most of the season and then they made the change, say, hey, we're going to stretch this out to 2 seasons instead of one. And so we have to do
Uh-huh.
reshoots. They had another
Yes.
actress cast as Vanessa, and they had
Yes.
recast
Yes.
the original actress from Netflix Daredevil. So they had to reshoot a bunch of her scenes. And I am very curious to know what the original plan was, because clearly there are some things that are a bit disconnected. Like one of the things was Angela being being kidnapped because she went to go try to look for Muse to see what was going
Answers.
on. Yeah, she was trying to look
Well,
for answers.
she was trying to find
And
answers.
so we saw her get captured and rescued in the same night, right? We
Right.
are under the impression that everything that we saw is everything that happened, because he caught her, drugged her, brought her back to his lair or whatever, stuck her with a
Right.
needle, and was in the process of getting ready to
Of
extract her
harvesting
blood.
her blood.
Right.
Well,
And
he was, because there was a situation that her heartbeat was starting to fade
right.
while Daredevil was choking the life out of Muse,
Right.
and he had to make a
Had
decision to
yeah,
save her
either kill
versus kill
Muse or
him.
save her. Right. And
Right.
so from everything that we saw, she was unconscious pretty much the whole time.
Right.
But when Matt went to visit her in a hospital and asked her if she could remember anything, she was like, oh, he was working on his sketches. And I remember seeing paintings on the wall and people screaming and all this other kind of stuff. She was like, he was real particular about his sketches and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, when would you have saw
When
that?
did you see that?
When did you
Right.
see any of that?
Because we saw it. We saw the people hanging, but you right. She was asleep. Oh, she was pretending. Dun dun.
But I mean, even if she was pretending to sleep, he didn't paint anything. He was literally in the process of extracting her blood.
Harvesting her blood.
So
Yes.
he could paint after that, but everything that we saw, he injected her with a needle, I guess it was like a numbing agent or something. Then he stuck her with the with the extraction needle and was getting everything situated, and then he heard the noise out in the tunnel and went to go check that out, and you see Daredevil doing his full on get out run, just running up to him.
Too late now, homie. Daredevil is the first devil is here,
and then that's when the fight begins.
All this sadness.
So he never at any point stopped to paint or stopped to talk about his paintings or anything like that. So I don't know. So it's clearly that would have been something that happened and prior to the reshoots. Yeah, there was some continuity gaps.
Well, you say you wonder what the
original I would love to know what the original story, how the original story was going to play out.
They said they didn't have Daredevil suiting up to about episode 4 or 8.
I was about to say, when did he suit
4
up?
Or 8. Episode 1.
Well, I mean, he suited up in episode 1, but then we had the time jump.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that prior to the reshoots, he wasn't even going to suit up in episode 1. So the whole, I mean, I guess, yeah, because I remember when they first started shooting, the only 2 actors that were confirmed coming from the Netflix series was Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. So Foggy wasn't even a thought at that time. So yeah, I guess he still wouldn't have suited up until later in the season.
This is how they're going to repay you. Oh, you want him in the show? Here you go. Pow!
Yeah.
No!
But people are saying that Foggy's not dead.
Well, he shouldn't be dead. I mean, he's the heart and soul of the show. And
Is
we've seen a universe without him. Clearly. Somebody needs to tell Matt to stop being Daredevil. And if it's not his best friend in the world, who else is going to be?
Nobody,
Clearly,
really.
He don't listen to these women.
Frank told him to put the suit back on because you need to get out there and handle your business.
Frank is not well.
But I love the line where, because I forget what Matt said. And, because they were talking about Bullseye. And he was like, yeah, you know, you sat on trial and you gave your testimony, and, you know, he's like, you could have killed him. You could have ended his life. And Matt was like, well, he got life. The justice system came into play. He got life in prison. He was like, well, what about Foggy? Did Foggy get life? I was like, ooh. Frank know how to twist that knife.
Shots fired.
Frank know how to twist that knife.
and take a punch because he ain't even
Oh
retaliate back
no.
when
But I love the
he's like,
fact that Matt punched him. And he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," because he knew if Frank would have went off, that would have been they would have been going to blows. But Frank knew
I
he
can't
needed to
see.
get it out of him because Frank, just like he told those cops, you think you know me, you think you know my pain, you think you know my suffering. Frank knows what it's like to lose somebody that close to you, and he knows that Matt is not handling it well. So he knew he had to get that out of him. So that's probably why he was like, he just took that punch and was like, okay.
Yeah, he hit like a bitch. Hey,
And I'm sure he didn't pull
hey,
his full weight into it. But also, Frank can take a punch.
this dude is not well. That's all I'm saying.
But
Yeah, I
I
think
will
y'all need to
say that the scene between the
tread
two of
carefully.
them was probably one of the best out of the whole
Are you
season.
referring to the action scene? Or are you
No,
referring to the
them Jim, they're
dialogue?
just confronting each other and going back and forth and just talking about what the other should do.
Second time. Gotcha. First time's not bad either. I
No,
don't
no, no.
know,
That's what I'm
Spider.
talking about.
So,
When Matt went to go find Frank and they had that conversation, when he punched Frank in the face, that scene, that was one of the best
gotcha.
of the season. But to bring Frank back in the final episode, and the banter between Matt and Frank is always good. It was good in the second season of Daredevil. It was good when it came back in the third season. It was good in this one. Is the banter between the two of them is always on point.
Do we see Frank Castle in the Defenders?
No,
Do we see Frank Castle in the Midnight Suns?
probably not.
I'm
Frank is gonna
just
have his
saying.
own. Punisher is gonna have his own special, his own special presentation thing.
Yeah, it's a special presentation. That's,
I mean, if you don't
so
have enough to do a full show, and you're not putting money into a actual theatrical release movie, I think a special presentation is the next best thing.
I guess, Spider. I guess. This is my I guess face.
Do you want
I
more
guess.
Punisher or do you want less Punisher?
Who doesn't want more Punisher? Punisher is that guy. He's that guy.
Yeah, so
He's that
it's
guy.
not to say that there's not going to be a show for Punisher after his special presentation, but the
I
next
don't
thing
know.
for Punisher is going to be a special presentation.
I don't know. There's a Werewolf by Night special presentation. We don't have more Werewolf by Night
Yeah, but we also
yet.
didn't have Werewolf by Night developed as a character before his special presentation.
I don't want Werewolf by Night. I want Blade. That's
Well,
what should have happened. And how do you feel? Here's a question that's back on topic since I hear the comments starting to buzz like there they go again. How do you feel about? I know you enjoyed the scene, but overall, this is your first return back home to Marvel in your flagship show.
mm-hmm.
You're sharing your end result with a co-star now. It's a when it wasn't originally a Deadpool and Wolverine type of show. It wasn't originally a Deadpool and Punisher thing. Yes, granted, canon. He's to the ethos. He's a part of the structure. But Daredevil, Born Again. How do you feel about Punisher being a part of the finale versus having
Him
Daredevil
do it all by
overcome his
himself.
own? Well, it's his show. It's not like we gotta cut away to everybody else dealing with the aftermath of these riots in the street. We didn't see Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, anybody, Luke Cage, anybody else. Just to name a few, Ninja Turtles. I'm just saying anybody.
No, I'm fine with it because as a
Spider Man.
character, they're not gonna get Spider Man in any MCU show.
Well, I'm just. It's New York. That's the problem when you have everybody in this central location and you have a citywide type of situation.
Yeah, but you also have to think if there is a citywide type of situation, if Daredevil is, first of all, was shot and in the hospital, and all the stuff is going down, powers out, the riot in the streets. Those heroes are trying to maintain order in their respective neighborhoods.
I understand that.
So Luke
Yeah,
Cage is in
Luke Cage got all
Harlem.
of
I
Harlem,
don't know
but
where Jessica
still,
Jones is, and
she needs to be
Iron Fist is
close.
probably in Kunlun somewhere, so he probably
She,
doesn't even know what's
she,
going on.
yeah. Well, I wonder who they're gonna recast for that. But she
I
needs
don't
to
know.
be close. Jessica Jones does. She needs to be really, really near.
But here's the thing.
What's up
Because of the situation that happened with
in
Foggy
Jersey?
being killed. What? No. Where do you get Jersey from?
Well, the situation's from Jersey, isn't he? For the Jersey Shore. I thought you were talking about the situation. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. I knew you wasn't talking about the
I'm mad
situation.
because that is a good connection. That's why I'm mad.
I knew you wasn't.
But
Okay.
no, but because like I was saying, because there's not another person that you can get that could relate to how Matt is feeling as well as Frank Castle. Yes, other people have lost people, but there's not been another person that would go out and risk vengeance because of the person that they lost. We saw Matt push Poindexter off that roof in the
Yeah,
intent
with intentions
with
to
the
kill him.
intentions to kill him.
Yeah, the man that doesn't kill took a day off when he lost his friend. It's
Right.
like, nah, you need to die. You
And
need to die.
nobody understands that better than Frank. There's nothing that Jessica could have helped him with. There's nothing that Luke could have helped him with. It's only Frank that can either pull him deeper into that hole, and it's up to Matt to make sure that he doesn't fall in. Because Frank
Uh,
will tell you in a drop of a hat, you should have killed him. Kill all of them. They all deserve to die. And it has to show the strength of Matt's morality in order to overcome that and not give into that vengeance. Because we see him anytime he got into a fight, he got into the fight with the cops at the informant's apartment. He got into the fight with the bank
oh, he
robbers.
definitely killed one of those guys.
But he
Yeah,
didn't.
one of those guys.
We thought he was dead, but he wasn't. I don't know how you get dropped on your neck like that and still survive, but he did. But
Okay.
the guy he got in the fight with after the bank robbery shattered his femur or his lower leg, whatever part of his leg he broke. But he was so close to teetering. I mean, I feel like it's easier for you to do the steak leg after that. There's nothing there. You do the stankiest of stanky legs. But
Oh my
we constantly see him fighting that urge to tip over. Like you said, the fight with Muse. He was literally about to strangle Muse to death. If not for Angela about to die, Muse would have been dead. If Angela had like 5 more heartbeats in her, Muse would have been dead.
Well, he still died, so.
I mean, after the fact, but Matt is not the one that killed him.
So is this what we're gonna see? We're gonna see Matt try not to kill people because even when they deserve to die, he's gonna save them.
That's always
He's gonna
been
take a bullet for him.
that's always been his way.
His way sucks.
I mean, it is not ideal. It's not the thing that you want to see. You don't want to see these villains prosper. But I can't remember where the quote originated from, but it said that when the good guys stop caring, they become no better than the bad guys.
Oh, those ideals, fighter, those ideals.
I mean,
I don't know if those
it's the
ideals.
ideals. I mean, it's the ideals of Batman. It's the ideals of Superman. They have killed. Almost every superhero has killed at some point, but
Yes, even the
they
ones that say they're not killing.
even the ones that say that they don't kill, but they go through great lengths or go to great lengths to ensure that they don't kill. And when they do kill, it's a situation where either they had no other choice or they were forced to and they had no other way to get out of it.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, we don't want superheroes that's out here just killing willy nilly. Those are the real vigilantes.
Right.
Those are the ones that are trying to end the person, while these other heroes are probably trying to handle the situation in a calmly manner. But that's the thing. This reality is grounded in a sense of, you know, I feel like it's more grounded than the boys, right?
Oh
Because
yeah, because
Amazon showed the
you have
boys.
less fantastical superpower stuff. You don't have people running
Right.
at super speed or flying around using laser vision. This is at the
Well,
end of the day, Daredevil is still just a dude. He's a blind dude who got shot in the shoulder and still made it all the way from the hospital to his apartment in his gown, and nobody stopped him or anything. So
at all.
it's definitely more grounded, but there is some still sense of
Some loopy
fantastical.
loopholes.
Yeah, you still have to do some leaps in logic.
Some loopy loopholes. But at the same time, man, it's mm, overall, Spider. Let me ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
Story wise, season one, Born Again.
Yes.
Story wise, does it work from A to Z, or are you saying you can clearly see that we were doing something and then we clearly fell off the rails somewhere in the middle, and it's okay because our finale is going to just wrap it up in a nice pretty bow, and people gonna love it because again we got Frank and Daredevil. They didn't even see that coming. They didn't even know Frank was in here.
I mean, they knew
Yeah.
Frank was coming. People were
I
waiting
mean,
with bated breath to see when Frank was going to show up. But no, I think it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Because the story, in the sense of the progression of watching Matt try to give up being Daredevil and slowly get pulled
uh-huh,
back in with all of the different things
uh-huh,
that were happening with Fisk, because I like the parallels between Matt and Fisk, where Fisk started off, like I said, talking about how he was going to help New York and try to do all of this stuff for the betterment of the city, and how
going to
even
help the city.
Vanessa, I
Vanessa.
want to show you what we can do with New York. I love. I remember when he first started doing that at the beginning of the Netflix show. I was like, why is he talking like that? But I love it now. I love it's a stupid voice, and it should not be as enjoyable as it is. But I love it when he just goes into his, I don't know, his just his monologuing about what he wants to do. It sounds so matter of fact, and
Mm,
that's kind of the thing that Fisk has to have. He has to be that presence. But seeing his slow descent back into Kingpin, and it's the same time as we see Daredevil's slow descent, well, Matt's slow descent back into Daredevil. Because I remember there
yeah.
was the scene where we see that, I think it was the scene after Fisk did something, and I can't remember what it was, but when Fisk learns that Daredevil was back, I think it was somewhere around, because Fisk sent out he put together the task force, and I think he was like beating up on Adam or something. He was sliding back in his Kingpin ways. And
Of
as he was
course.
doing that,
Got to get that aggression out.
but as he was doing that, that's when Matt came back as Daredevil to save Angela. And when
Yeah.
Buck told him, oh no, when the
He's
task force
back.
told him that Daredevil was back, you saw this like look on Fisk's face, because the conversation that they had in the diner, Matt told him, if you ever slide back into being Kingpin, I'm coming for you. And likewise, Kingpin said, you ever go back to being a vigilante, I will stop you. And
Mm,
so we get, even though Fisk didn't know, or even though Matt didn't know what Fisk was doing, it was so coincidental but a beautiful coincidence where as soon as Kingpin started going back and doing his Kingpin things, that's when Daredevil at the same time he came back. So it was like almost fated. Like as long as you're going to be
Mm.
Kingpin, Matt's going to be Daredevil. And so that look that he had, it was like, oh shit, is he coming after me? Because of that conversation that we had. So the back and forth and the parallels between them two, I thought was very well done throughout the season because I think that's where the original story was going to be with the two of them. And then
Mm.
everything else got
Mm.
thrown in on top of that. So that original storyline of following those two and their parallels, I thought was really well done. It's when you get into the episode, the bank robbery, which was, you know, they brought in Yusuf Khan and talked about Kamala and all that other kind of stuff. I felt like that episode was so far removed from everything else that was going on in the season that that seems like one of the ones that they had to reshoot or they added that episode as part of the reshoots because I feel like it didn't really fit too much because
It still don't fit.
Matt went to the bank to try to get a loan, right? And so if not for that, he
It's a
wouldn't
one.
even been
It's
at
a
the bank.
one shot. It's a one
Really, it
shot.
was really
It's
it was a one shot
it's
that
like a
was
one shot in there.
and for no
I told
reason where we could have been
Marvel
developing
will
the
switch it up
story.
on you.
Why do
Mar-
we need this? This had nothing to
Marvel
do
likes
with
to switch it
Kingpin.
up.
But no, so for the most part, I thought that even though this was a Daredevil show, just like you said, it's a Daredevil show, but we don't get a lot of Daredevil. The
No,
the
you get a lot of
procedural
depressed Matt. You get depressed Devil.
the procedural legal side of it of Matt going and trying to investigate, you know, the Muse killings, Matt trying to go and investigate who shot Hector, Matt trying to go and investigate, you know, trying to uphold the law as Matt Murdock, not as
As Matt
Daredevil,
Murdock.
trying to do
Yeah, it
his
don't work
best
so well.
to uphold the law without turning back to vigilantism. I enjoyed that story. I enjoyed seeing him in court fighting for Hector and him going to the prison and
Mm.
visiting. I forget what the guy's name was,
Mm.
but the guy that stole the fiddle faddle. You know, him going and fighting for him and arguing for his case and trying to get him probation and
Are you
all of that
saying you would
stuff.
have preferred a more episodic legal type of show without
I
all the
feel like we
camaraderie
I feel like
about?
we got that. I feel like for the most part we got that with a few sprinklings of Daredevil being Daredevil in the show. I felt like it really was more of a procedural, like if we had an episodic legal drama with Matt Murdock and then every so often he goes and does vigilante shit. I would
Yes.
enjoy that. I would enjoy that. I feel like the writers who did the legal and the case investigative stuff, I thought those were done
Uh
really
huh.
well. It's only when we started getting, like I said, into the CG effects when Daredevil was fighting or when Matt was doing
Mm.
something outside and like a vast, because you had all of these shots on the street level of New York with the BB report and talking to real people and seeing all these street level scenes. But then once we hit the rooftops, everything's CG and everything is on the sound stage and the backgrounds are computer generated.
Father,
That's
I can't
that's
explain it.
that's the part
I can't explain
that was the low point for me. But like everything outside of that, like even with what's his name? Gandolfini, his character.
it.
He
Oh, listen. I don't know if they setting him up to be the new Kingpin or the Young Avengers Kingpin or
they definitely they definitely like pose him in that sense. Like he became very mob bossy in the later part of the season. Daniel. His name is Daniel
yeah,
Blake. I was thinking Thor's alias is Donald
Donald
Blake.
Donald
Yeah.
Blake.
But yeah, no, they absolutely, once he started like coming into his own and like started being more confident in when he was speaking, that scene that he
The
had with
suit's
BB.
open now, Spider. The suits are open. The undergarments are showing. He's feeling himself.
Yeah, the scene that he had with
Feeling
BB
himself.
and basically like threatening her life if she didn't like retract that report or writing a report that it was a
Hey,
task
he's not
force.
saying he'll threaten it, but he's just
I
saying
just want you to make a
it'll
smart
be in her.
decision.
Yeah, it's in your best interest to make a smart decision. Now, which one you want to do?
But yeah, he
See,
he he turned out to be very mob leaning with because he had the pinky ring and he was twisting the pinky ring and he was like, "I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse." And it's
wonder where he
just
would get all that from. Wonder where he would get it from. But
he's learning
it
from the
looks like
best.
he's being set up in the MCU to be a protagonist later on. To is pro like
Antagonist.
antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught it once I said it. Later on down the line, he's going to be a threat.
Yeah. But no,
Interesting.
is there was some parts that, yeah, like I said, there was some parts of this of the overall story that I didn't really care for, like the the attitude towards vigilantes from Heather felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, yes, I understand she was like psychoanalyzing people and why they wear masks. Because at one point she
Yes.
was like, she told me, she was like, "Oh, you've represented Frank Castle. You think you could get me a conversation with him, and you've come in contact with Daredevil. Do you think you could give me a, like she was really interested in talking to them, but then." I guess because it seems so weird that she would lump Muse and Daredevil into the same category. She was just like, oh, they're both, just boys, immature boys living out their fantasies and stuff like that. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
who is that from?
that's
What?
a weird way to generalize everything. And I was like, I understand you want to have her jaded towards like masked people, but whereas you had Daredevil came in and saved your or assisted you in escaping,
Yeah, because she saved herself. She
yeah.
don't need no depressed devil to save her.
But I want to ask you a question about what happened between Matt and Heather, because he came in and he saved her from Muse. She shot Muse, but she was also losing a lot of blood. So she's passing out on the floor,
Uh
and
huh.
Matt runs up to her, calls her name.
Mm-hmm.
She tells Matt that she heard Daredevil call her name. Still hasn't put two and two together. But when Matt gets shot and he's in the hospital, he wakes up. The first name he
And the
calls is the
first thing
first name
he
he called was
calls,
Karen.
not the same.
But
It is
but
not the same.
but not only that,
It's the drugs. It's the meds. Don't feel no kind of way.
but then he says
He
Heather.
bounced back. He got yeah,
But then he
yeah.
says Heather's name, and she had a look on her face, and I'm wondering if the look was a look of hurt that he called Karen's name first, or was it a look of recognition because she recognized the same way that he said her name when he was Daredevil versus the way that he said her name when he was Matt in the hospital bed? Do
That is
you
a
have any
great
thoughts?
question. Uh, First of all, shout out to you because that was a great question. Um, I think, like all women think,
Uh oh,
it's only a matter of time before they figure it out anyway. So
it's very true.
his days are numbered. Depressed devil is going to have to face the music or lose a relationship. Lose a relationship now, and you can see it's going to be rocky because he knows that Kingpin is using her to get to him
And as
because
much as he tried to
he
tell her,
knows
but he can't prove it unless he says that he's Daredevil. Because Matt
and
Murdock does not have that information.
exposing the fact that you're Daredevil only invites more chaos inside of your relationship because you already know how she feels about masked individuals.
Right.
So you kind of, if you do, and you kind of, if you don't.
I mean, but
Cause
it's
you
like
either
we've
way.
we've seen time and time again how relationships or vigilantes try to have relationships and
Oh
maintain a
yeah,
secret identity, and it
it's
never
a
works
hard
out.
knock life. Yeah, well, it didn't work out for Superman. He can move at faster than the speeding bullet. Usually women don't like when you move like that. They like you to slow down. But clearly Lois like it. He the only one. Lana Lane, Lois Lane. He got a thing for L's. So Superman been taking all these. He about to take another one when they release this movie. Because I'm about to see the legacy gone. But it's the way they open up. Hey, you know something? Here's something random. I just saw that trailer when we watched the trailer for Superman, and that that scene when their opening scene, how he's cradled like a little baby. Inside that print, the IMAX version, he's actually inside of a hand. That's why I'm holding my hand up.
We
He's
haven't.
inside of a
I
hand.
haven't
There's
seen
like an
that one.
imprint. There's an imprint in the snow. It's like it's a wide shot when they coming down into the shot because they zoom in and he's in a fetal position, breathing, wheezing because he
Yeah.
can got the shit kicked out of him. He got broken bones, probably a punctured lung. Um, he's in a the imprint in the snow is a hand, and I think that's James Gunn trying to subliminally says, you know, I got Superman in my hand right now, and I got him. I'll take care of him
Oh,
because he falls down to
yeah.
this spot, and then now we see him taken from that spot to get redone, rejuvenated, and just wanted to throw that out there. That's for everybody who cares. Everybody else who don't care, we're back to we're back to this
Okay.
Daredevil, a depressed devil, excuse me. So she's gonna figure it out at some point in time. I mean, she's a therapist. She's a licensed practicing. Well, I can't say that because she didn't figure out that was Muse until like late into the whole thing.
Well, I mean, technically, she only had a half of a conversation with him at the book signing, and
This is
then
true. And that's what I'm saying. Why did we rush this? Why didn't we build this? We had so many episodes to build this.
I do feel like he should have been a a repeat patient
Right. And why did we kill him? Why did we kill him?
because they were done with him.
Questionable. Questionable. Well, he's a adversary to Daredevil. We don't kill. We put him in jail so they could break out and they can attack the city
But
later.
then that's
So
the
to see,
thing: Daredevil didn't kill him.
I know because we were trying to preserve the synchrony of Daredevil, but again, he's a Daredevil. Listen, you need villains, and unless you're about to start introducing new villains with
I
backstories that make
mean,
sense,
we still have a villain, the biggest one in Kingpin,
no, we also have Bullseye.
and Bullseye is still out there, spitting teeth.
Ew, that's 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 not how you get the fairies to come. That's not how. But at the same time, Bullseye is kind of like Venom, right? He's Daredevil's biggest foe, and he can show up out of anywhere. But unless you're going to get like a dental plan done and get this tooth back, and you're pretty much coming for Matt at
But
any
here's the
given point
thing:
in time,
why?
and you know he don't care.
Why would he come from Matt?
Dude, did you not see him punch civilians in episode one?
Yeah, but that
Bullseye is
was
unhinged too.
no. I understand that, but he was also in an area where it was a bar full of cops, so he was taking them out before they could take him
Those
out. Now
those
the
wasn't
now
cops. The
well
people that he punched
the
in the face.
the man and the woman that was upstairs, those were just regular people. Those they didn't deserve that. But no, what I'm saying is that the only reason he was out there in the first place because he got paid to take Foggy out. Then
But his mental state is not there.
no, he's absolutely not there at all. But he went to the gala to get revenge
Right,
on
right.
Fisk because the only reason he went to jail is because Fisk pretty much gave him up. But he really has no beef with Matt. Like on a
I think when
personal
you
level.
killed my best friend,
No, Matt has
I
beef with
got
him.
beef with
Absolutely.
you
Matt has beef
forever.
with him, but Bullseye, unless he's paid to go after Matt, he has no reason to go after Matt.
That's crazy.
What is he going to go after Matt for?
Oh, I'm still on the fact that Daredevil was going after him.
Oh yeah, I
Because
mean,
if
and here's the
nothing
thing,
else, you're supposed to
he's
be in jail. You killed my best friend, dude.
he's unless I mean, right now he has bigger fish to fry with trying to save the whole damn city, but unless if Bullseye were to go underground and just lay low and not do anything, I don't think Matt would actively seek him out to try to get him back into prison. If Bullseye is out and Bullseye is minding his business and not doing nothing, not taking hits, not going after anybody, even though he's not all there, and if he's not doing anything, Matt has other priorities.
I got you. I don't know, man. I don't know if he go save the city. I don't know what.
Well,
So at the end of it, since
he
we're still talking about the end,
yeah.
we're framing this up. So are we exposing ourselves to the cops, to Cherry?
Well,
Well, Cherry
Cherry already
kind of.
knows.
No, yeah. So is everybody else supposed to know now? And if we're getting a
No.
team together, why is there a phone call to Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, well,
I would imagine
Iron
that they're on the
Fist?
way. That's all I can think.
Okay,
They're on the way. No, because I'm with you
Ninja
100%.
Turtles.
You got to stop with the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles are not coming. They're not coming.
I have to shout out the Ninja Turtles who got their powers from the same ooze and goo and stuff that Matt got his stuff from. I don't know what chemicals this are, but
Chemical
some
X.
stuff in them. Well, that you are right. The brain
But
make
no, it was really built up for Matt to be like, "Hey, we need an army." Fisk has a militia, a battalion
yeah, you
size
do.
force of
That's
goons
ready
and
to work
thugs working
overtime.
for
They don't
him,
even care,
ready
right?
to shoot and kill anybody. We saw the two
With no
cops
cams.
when that one guy was looting and got a TV and the cop just shot him dead. And it was like, dude, that was just a regular person. And he pulled his beanie over his face, like, nope, he was a mass vigilante. And I took him out. They don't care.
Yep, I saw that.
No
I saw
restraint.
that.
But
And the
for
sad part about it is when he pulled that ski mask down,
he looked like
kind of did
Daredevil.
look like
He
Daredevil.
looked like Daredevil did in season one. But the thing about it is that if you have a force of that size willing to go to those lengths to just take out anybody, Karen was right telling Matt, it's like, you cannot go in there thinking that you're going to daredevil it up and come out alive. You will die. And then if you
That
die,
part.
then what's going to happen? And so he's
That
like,
part.
okay, yeah, you're right. We have to put together an army. So they go back to Josie's bar, and it's Matt, Karen, and what, like four cops? It was Cherry. It was Detective Angie Kim, who was the
That's right.
hostage negotiator at the bank heist, and then kind
That's
of
right.
the informant, or not the informant, but was reporting to Fisk, and like maybe two or three other cops in the bar.
If you're lucky.
And
If we lucky.
that's an army?
Not an army.
They say
That's
they
not
needed
an
an
army.
army. That's what you have?
I seen Gwen
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Stacy.
sorry. Then you also had Josie. Josie was there too.
Yeah, well, somebody got to put a drink. I
Somebody got to
seen
put a
Gwen
drink.
Stacy get more people in the Spider Verse movie than what's in this Daredevil lineup team. And why do we frame Daredevil in the newspaper and Poindexter in the mirror? And I mean, it's not the mirror, the glass, the
Yeah.
broken glass.
Where was he
What
anyway?
are
Was
we
he back
saying here?
home? We just see him and we're just like,
We don't go into
he's somewhere.
where he
He's
is.
somewhere with a broken glass. Also,
But
what was never explained was the so they use lighting as
Mm-hmm.
sort of like subliminal messaging or alluding to something when Matt is like shrouded in red, but we
Yes,
saw
yes.
anytime Bullseye, I guess, went into focus or something, the lights
That little
turned
blue
blue.
came over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we never
it's the
got any
Matrix, fam.
explanation like why.
Because it's the Matrix. It's the red pill, blue pill.
That has
That's
nothing
it.
to do with what the red pill and the blue pill stood for in the Matrix. Nothing at all.
You're absolutely right, but it has nothing really to do what's going on with Daredevil as well. Because some of the situations, like when he got shot, okay, the screen turned red, but we know he'll be okay because it wasn't the last.
It wasn't the last episode.
It wasn't the last episode. It's like I need you to like shoot him in the front, and then we know he'll recover. And listen, and you were doing too much to say you were shot like this. You shouldn't be able to raise your arm like for a while. You just went home.
they they in the
Listen,
in the Netflix
I'm not up
series.
to these people. I'll talk about it.
In a Netflix series, they did make a point to say that Stick taught him how to meditate and heal himself faster and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah, he ain't do none of that. He ain't do.
He
He
was
got
he was
shot.
he
He
was
woke
asleep in a
up. It's
hospital.
like,
He was sleeping in a hospital and he healed himself while he was sleeping.
listen, unless you got Deadpool's healing factor or Wolverine's healing factor, hell, you can even have Spider Man's healing factor. You hurt. You got shot in the
Nah, they
shoulder.
they they stitched him
You
up,
ain't.
patched him up, even though he was
You
bleeding through
ain't.
his hospital gown.
You ain't had no sling on. You ain't had nothing like. My guy, you got shot,
Yeah,
and then you moving around because you know they coming to try to take you out. You had that much sense that you left the hospital and went to to the house. What? You is crazy,
I
dude.
just I just
That's how y'all get
I,
along.
I need to go home. I need to be in my own bed.
I just lay down like, dude. You don't think the hospital have protocols? They just
Power's
lost
out.
a patient. You
Power's
about
out.
to make people lose their
He is
job,
about to make people lose
and
their
you think
job.
when the
The
lights
lights come
come
back
back on,
on.
you think they ain't gonna be
All right,
accounting for a
all right, Mr.
patient?
Murdoch. We're coming here to check your vital. Mr. Murdoch.
Like Stan Lee said, I'm about to lose a job, man. Call because you at home Netflixing and chilling. I
Yeah.
mean, Disney
Well, ain't
Plus
no
and
home
chilling.
anymore. His apartment is blown up. That's why he had to go to Josie's. He got to go back to his old
These
apartment in Hell's
L's,
Kitchen.
man. All right, so it ain't no secret in seeing Daredevil Born Again, you cannot escape which was previously was. Obviously, we had the same actors,
Mm-hmm.
we had the same character. We just have one universe that was trying to establish itself and be something that was something for 3 seasons.
Right.
And then we have
4 if you want to
Disney.
count the Defenders.
Hey, I count the Defenders, not not Iron Fist. I don't count that. The you got Disney and then
Mm-hmm.
you got Marvel underneath the Disney umbrella.
Right.
Now, it's always known that not Marvel, excuse me, that Disney always Disneyfy things and make it not. I don't want to use the term woke because that's not the term. I'll just say
Mm-hmm.
use the term Disneyfication, right?
Okay.
They kind of take what's great about it and get that out of there. They just make sure they get all of it and get it out of there. So whatever it was great about, whatever you liked about, whatever they implode, I mean like engulf, they take this good stuff and they throw it out. Meaning Daredevil Born Again is always going to be compared to what was before it because again of the similarities of characters, actors, so on and so forth. Even the riots in the internet sheets was if you're not bringing back Karen and Foggy, we're not even watching it. We're not even giving it a chance. That's how pivotal they were. Pivotal, no, that word. that I'm not saying. Pivotal.
Pivotal,
Got it.
yeah. But I mean,
Yep,
then you get
got it.
Foggy for one episode, and you get Karen for a total of two,
One.
because she was
Yeah,
in
teach you
one, and then she was in half a two, and then half a nine.
and teach you how to shut up to go to make the show that we want to make, and y'all go deal with it. Cause we'll kill them off. We'll kill them off. That's
Or
horrible.
send
They
them to San
shot Foggy,
Francisco.
and clearly they're setting up season two where Karen will be there, and clearly she still has a thing for Matt.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're gonna see a little situation that he break up with his current love interest and get back with Karen
Oh, they're
because
absolutely
clearly
breaking up.
we're,
If they're not
we're
already
setting
broken
that
up.
up.
If they're not already broken up, they're definitely breaking up. Because there's a whole scene at the gala when when she's trying to talk to him and she's like, "You've been distant, you've been avoiding me, you come home and you're injured, I don't know what's going on," and he's just like trailing off because he's trying to listen to the Kingpin. She's like, "You're not even listening to
Yes.
me right now." And he's like, "Yes, I'm absolutely listening." "Okay, well, what did I say?" And then he trails off again, and then we get like a 10-minute scene between Fisk and the swordsman, and then we come back to Matt and Heather like no time had passed. It's like she asked you, what did she say? You don't answer for another 10 minutes, and we supposed to come back to that conversation like we just pick up where we left off, like no time had passed. No, they're absolutely breaking up if they're not already broken up. That relationship is
But,
over.
well, she was there when he got shot.
Yeah, because
You
she
know.
felt bad for him. A blind man gets shot.
Oh wow. Oh, I knew
if
that some
if, if
part this was
she
gonna
didn't
come up.
if she didn't show up at the hospital for him, then she looks like the asshole.
Wow. So we just out here pretending for optics now. We doing
I
optics
mean,
shots now.
she's in the mayor's cabinet now, so you know she got to worry about the optics.
He's not gonna tell her he's Daredevil. The best thing to do is to get out of that situational ship. Karen's back. She clearly knows he's Daredevil. And I like how we alluded to Frank and just got a thing for Karen.
Mm-hmm.
And Karen ain't trying to hear none of that. She like,
I know you care.
I might, I might, I might if I could like if like here's the thing. You know that feeling, that competitiveness that Scott and Wolverine kind of have for Jean, even
Mm-hmm.
though Jean is
Is with
for
Scott.
Scott,
Yeah.
right? But she kind of entertains the idea. Even if you go back and watch that X-Men 97 redo, she kisses Logan, and that's just enough to get. Boy, I'm almost in that thing, boy. Boy, y'all don't know, boy. I'm about to pass Scott up. And so I feel like Frank's like, if you want me to pop him, I'll just pop the red one right now. I'll pop red right now, Karen. We could be together.
That's not what
I
Karen wants.
mentally no, it's not what she wants. But she might have one night in the castle.
Didn't they?
She might have
Didn't they go
she
out
might
or get
have one
coffee or
night in the
something
castle.
in
Well,
Daredevil season one?
hey, you
Yes, I
can't
know what.
say get
Yes,
coffee.
I know what getting coffee means. That's why I said, didn't they get coffee in season one of Punisher?
Hey, hey, don't tell Matt that. Because clearly there's a thing going on between Karen and Matt that,
Well, that's what Matt said. Matt said he heard Karen's heartbeat when they were at Frank's place, so he knows.
mm, he might know, but he don't know the
He
details.
may not know everything, but he knows there's something.
Mm, you better mind your business, blind man.
But here's my thing. How did Karen know to call Frank and tell Frank you need to get to Matt's place?
Because Karen has somebody on the inside, somebody that's dirty on the inside. Maybe she knows the power broke.
And then the thing
There's
about it
no other way
is,
she could know, because the only people that the Mayor Fist told the goons they go out.
That
And
same. And
then
this was
how?
all in the same night. Matt got
Well,
shot, went to the hospital, was out for a couple hours, trudged
it
his way
can't be
back
in the
home.
same night.
It was in the same night. They were all still dressed in the same clothes. This was all the same night.
You can't get from San Francisco to New York
No,
in the same night.
you absolutely cannot. That's why she had to either had already been in New York or no. That would mean there's no or about it. She had to already have been in New York. So was she lying about being in San Francisco? Was she shacking up with Frank the whole time?
Is Foggy still alive?
Probably.
Was she? Does she know?
No.
Oh.
But Mr. VIP,
These are just questions.
these
These
are
are just
just questions.
questions.
But I have the most
Just
important
questions.
question to ask you.
What's that?
The question is, when it comes to season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, is it super?
I was actually going to ask you that question. It's so funny that you asked me that question. And here's the answer to your question. No, it's not super. It's not super at all. It's Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
It's Daredevil. Is it Daredevil though? If we're comparing this Daredevil to the Daredevil from Netflix, 3 seasons, 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2, top tier, hallways, fights, plots that made sense. And this feels like a shell of that. It doesn't feel nowhere near close to that. There's a lot of dialogue, not a lot of Daredevil, not a lot of. It's got depressed devil, but again, it feels like it was just put together and not put together well. It feels like it was. Don't get me wrong, you got talent. Vincent D'Onofrio, Charlie Cox, they're killing it. And everybody else on there is killing it. I don't think it was. I think we had something. There's a lot of area to grow. I just think we had a lot of old footage that we didn't want to delete, and we have some now attention because you got to remember when this hit right after the pandemic or some nonsense like this, right? When they
What?
slowed everything
Netflix?
down. No, 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 no. The new Born Again. When they slowed everything down and they looked at Born Again and they said, we don't like any of this. And then they
No,
came
that
in
was
and they
way after the
did.
pandemic. That was
This was after the strike.
yeah.
Sorry, it was a strike. It was
Mm-hmm.
a strike. Yeah, because they couldn't touch anything during the strike.
Right.
So after the strike or during the strike, they looked at it and then saw, yeah, we might want to. So it does feel like that. And to me, that's why I feel like it's not. Not that Daredevil couldn't be super. This iteration just really wasn't.
Mm.
It took too long to get back into the saddle. The fact that you were saving the young lady, that was very honorable, but the reason that she was down there doesn't really make sense. Like, what do you think you were gonna find in the sewers? If you were really down there looking for mules, why were you looking for them? Because you can't.
There was nothing you could do if you found him.
Right. And then, sure enough,
She
you're
found
caught.
him.
Yeah, surprise. And then this is crazy because he had just snatched 2 girls earlier that evening
Yeah.
when he was painting. Like, oh my god, are you Muse?
Yeah.
And it was like, so, witness me, witness me.
But yeah, he had already disposed of them. He had killed them and disposed of them already. They found them on the street.
This is also true, but he's quick when he wants to be.
Yeah.
So when he's not monologuing, you could have just.
I
I don't know.
honestly
For me, for me, it had potential, but it wasn't super. No,
I could see that.
but I don't. Hey, I know this is your guy, so
I never said that.
he's my guy.
No, he's
He's
not.
my guy.
He is
He's my guy
absolutely
so
not.
much. I love Daredevil. I love him so
You
much.
are
He's the only
lying to these people.
superhero No, I am not. I love Daredevil so much that I just wish he stopped being Daredevil. That's how much I love him. I never tell Batman stop being Batman. I'm like, get it, Batman, because
Because you
you
love Daredevil more
capable.
than Batman.
Let's not put those words
Uh
out there in
huh.
the world.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Batman's going to get it done. Daredevil's going to be the one that's done that gets it. Same thing. It's the same thing. It's absolutely the same. I love these. Spider, Spider. This is different. This is not Netflix Daredevil. It has
No.
to stand on its own, right? This is Disney Plus under Marvel's Daredevil Born Again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel as though it was super? Is that the
Here's the thing. I agree with
this is your
you.
guy? This is
This
your
is
guy.
not. I've never said that Daredevil is my guy. You talking about me putting words in your mouth? Don't put words in mine. I've never once claimed that Daredevil is my guy.
this
But
this is
listen,
my guy. I like Daredevil.
sure, you go with that narrative. But to what you were saying, yes, there's a Disneyfication of Daredevil Born Again. But as you
Yeah.
said that they took something, took all the parts that was great about the Netflix Daredevil and threw it away. But what I think was the opposite. I think they leaned too far into what we liked about Daredevil on Netflix because
Ooh,
I'm not talking
break
about
that
the
news to me.
the one shots and everything or the
Okay.
long takes, but when we
Okay.
comes to the fight scenes, well, even with episode one, they tried to pass that off as a long take, but we saw that everything that we saw in Netflix Daredevil versus the long take that they try to do on Disney Plus, it was Disneyfied. It was commercialized. It was like they threw too much CG into it. You throw all the smoke in
Yeah.
there to try to hide all of the errors and
Yeah,
the
that was
try to mask the
horrible.
cuts. And in my opinion,
Oh
that fight
man.
went on too long. It's like, yeah, you can have a long
You
take,
can.
but the long take still has to be meaningful. You can't just have two people going at each other and you think that that's going to be the best way to do it. I feel like
No.
we didn't get a lot of Matt in the suit, and I felt like he did most of his best work while he wasn't in the suit. The fight that he had with the bank robber in the bank, and he's trying to fight him and still be quiet to where he catches the gun like with his foot or whatever off the side of the stairs. I thought that was done
Yeah.
fantastically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
you have him fighting in the suit, and it didn't ring the same as when Daredevil was fighting in the suit in the Netflix series, because in the Netflix series it was like Matt, yeah, if Matt can kind of duck off in the corner or go somewhere, he'll take somebody out and then go right back to being the blind man. But when it was in the suit, he could really unleash and go at it. So I don't know. I thought they brought back the same stunt choreographers and everything, so I thought it was going to have the same feel in the fight scenes, but they I feel like they were like, okay, well, we're going to have a TVMA rating, so we have to
Mm-hmm.
do enough to earn that rating. So all the
Yeah.
extra brutality and stuff. Yes, there was brutality in the Netflix series, because I remember the informant that gave up Fisk's name and then just impaled his head on the pipe. Brutality, yes, but it was like sporadic. It was like when Fisk crushed the Russian's head in the car door. Again, we didn't see it,
Brutality.
but we
Finish it.
understood what was happening. And so to
Yeah.
take that, and then now we see Fisk crushing a man's skull, and we have a facsimile of his head to where we could actually see it happen. It's like we didn't need that. The implied nature of it would have been enough for us to still get that same effect, but we didn't have to go the extra step and show that. So where you say they took it and they threw it away, I feel like they took it and was like, oh, we got to turn it up to 11 because we have to be just as good as what it was on Netflix. And it didn't hit that mark. And for that, for me, even though I did enjoy the legal stuff. You said it was a lot of dialogue. I actually that was my favorite part of it. In the Netflix
I'm just
series, it
expecting to see
was
a little Daredevil in a show
no, no,
called
no, and I
Daredevil,
understand
but
that, but because I knew that it was going to be a situation where Daredevil born again, because this is a Daredevil where we get in the first episode, oh, my best friend died. He was my moral compass. He was the one that kept me grounded. He's gone. So I
yes,
have to give this up.
yes.
I can't go back into this because I don't know what's going to happen to me if I
I
do.
do,
I just tried to
yeah.
kill a man. That is not like me. But because Foggy died, that part of me was gone momentarily. And I don't know if that's going to come back if I get back into that suit again. So I'm going to do
Mm,
everything that I can within my power to use the legal system, use the judicial system in order to make sure people get put away. And for the episodes that we got that, I thought that was done so well. But when we get
yes, and
back into
even
the
to turn
suit,
around and see that he felt like the legal system was failing him,
right,
which also propels him to get back into the suit.
exactly. But the thing about it is I feel like if we hadn't got these reshoots and rewrites, I think we might not have gotten him in the suit until the last episode of the season. And that's when we
Oh,
get him back in the suit. He comes back, and then everything starts to fall apart. And then we leave that into going to season 2. So now we have Daredevil reborn, Daredevil born again. So how is this Daredevil going to be different than the Daredevil that we used to know? But seeing as we got him back in the suit mid-season, we got him back in the suit to take on Muse, and then after that, no more suit, out of the suit again, and then we don't get him back in the suit until later on. And so, in the sense that they put him back in his suit, yeah, you say you wanted to see some more
junkie.
Daredevil, but if you're going to give us
Yeah,
Daredevil, give us Daredevil. Don't give us Matt, Daredevil, Matt, Daredevil, then more Matt. And it's like, you can't have a Daredevil
had a little
show.
vibe going
And
on
then,
over there.
because in the first season of the Netflix series,
Uh
we
huh.
got him being Daredevil. We got him being a vigilante, but of course he was out of the suit. He didn't have his suit yet. But it was a very big part of what he was doing, because at that point he was like, we are trying to defend these innocent people, or we
That
get
part.
stuck in a situation where we have to defend somebody that we know is guilty. And we even got a part of that. We had the I don't know if the guy was like owner of charter schools or something, but he was ripping off teachers from their pension or whatever. And Matt is sitting there in a conference room, and he listens to his heartbeat, and he just starts chastising the man. And he's like, look, I know you're lying, and I, in good conscience,
Mm,
can't represent you if you know that you're lying. And then he walks
that
out, and
part.
Kirsten is like, we still have a job to do. We have to be lawyers. And like you said, it was to that, he's like, everything that we do, nothing matters, because they go in, they
Nothing.
rip people off, they get out of jail, they go do the same thing again. Where we have this guy who stole Fiddle Faddle because he missed his welfare meeting because he's probation officer got him locked up again. And it's like they're stuck in the system and they can't get out of it, and nothing that we do is going to help them. And being able to see
Mm,
those different types of those parallels and those allegories and all that other kind of stuff again lined up with what Kingpin was doing, how he's bringing the city down into turmoil while Matt, as a man, as a lawyer, is still trying to build it up, and then we don't get a resolution from that. Then at the end, if they come to a head when Fisk finally gets all of the things that he wants to come back and be Kingpin again, we see Matt is now low enough to where he's getting back into the Daredevil suit. We don't have them clash, but we have their events clash. So the task force that Fisk put together, Matt's now back in
that's
the suit
right.
as Daredevil. They clash at the end of the season. Now we're going to see Daredevil clearly has his eyes on Kingpin. Next season, they're going to go at it, and we're going to see how all that plays out. But because you had to sprinkle Daredevil in here and there, and then what he was doing was so out. I mean, because even with Muse, it was so inconsequential. Yeah, you stopped him from killing, and I forgot her name just that quick, but you stopped him from killing Hector's niece, but he
Mm-hmm.
still got away and about to kill Heather. And then you didn't even stop him from killing Heather. She's the one that killed Muse. And then if it wasn't going to be her, the task force was probably going to come in there and kill Muse. So at the end of the day, Daredevil was largely ineffective in his own show.
Hey,
And for
might
that,
as well be in the
as
goddamn dumpster. Just saying,
I enjoy I
metaphorically.
enjoyed I'll put it this way. I enjoyed Matt Murdock. I didn't enjoy Daredevil. And to
In his
not
own
enjoy
show?
that's what I'm saying. And to not enjoy Daredevil in a Daredevil show, I can't call this show super.
Damn. It is what it is, man.
It is what it is.
I love Daredevil. I don't even like
Shut
him. I
up.
love him.
Shut
I'm
up.
I like,
This man sits
dude,
on a throne of
you
lies.
you're so good that you should retire early. You're like, you don't need to retire and stay out of Hell's Kitchen and just learn how to live in the system, man. Keep fighting another day. Justice must prevail, and
But
you have the lie detector in your eardrum so you can see who really needs your defense.
but to your
Just
point, the
what's
the
up?
the cameos that they decided to include
Are not
are,
included.
are or not include. It was a weird decision because, like, why did we get Swordsman but not Jessica Jones, right? Why, if you want to talk about other heroes that are around New York, Swordsman would not be on the top of my list to pick.
Why is he still there? Because
I
he was in a relationship with Kate Bishop's mom, and Kate Bishop's mom went to jail. So I'm pretty sure he's not gonna hang around Kate Bishop.
no, but
I
I
would
don't know.
hope not. That's creepy.
That is creepy,
But
and Kate didn't like him at all. But I
right,
mean,
but
he
I thought they
did.
were like together. So
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of Hawkeye, he did like help them and fight off the tracksuit mafia. So to show that he was not like a bad person, but
enemy of my enemy.
essentially, but
Okay.
even with that, the last scene, like we were talking about, Matt said we got to put together an army. Do you know how excited the internet would be, the number of videos and
If he's putting a
articles,
team together.
if they kept under wraps that they brought back Luke Cage and Jessica Jones? Fuck Iron Fist. I don't think anybody. Yeah, there would have been questions as to where Iron Fist was, but whatever.
Listen,
But
right now is a
even if you
recast of a
even if you brought
recast, right?
in one of them, even if you, like you say, you brought in Jessica Jones, you like, I need to put together an army, because the thing about it is those three, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, at least the Iron Fist from the Netflix series, those they're vigilantes, but they're not masked. So,
Yeah, it's clear that's where we're going in the MCU, this mass unmasked situation. And
well, I mean, that's just the way that the heroes are in Marvel, period. You have some that have masks and you have some that are not masked. And there's a big,
the
debate
majority
over,
of them are not masked. And
or
even
a
if they
majority
have
of them,
masks, they take their mask
or
off.
yeah, a majority of them, if they are a mask, or if they are masked, like Captain America technically wears a mask, but everybody knows that Captain America is Steve Rogers. Tony
Right.
Stark wears a
And
suit where he is masked and you don't see his face, but everybody knows that Tony Stark is Iron Man.
yeah, they don't play those secret identities here because everybody has a code name or work name or street name,
They have an
and then they
alias,
have their
yeah.
real name. So
Or
Logan
yeah, in the sense of Doctor Strange, that
wears
is
a
just his name.
mask. Yeah, but Logan wears a mask with the hood, the cowl, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
then he he's seen without it as well.
Yeah. Outside of, I mean, I feel like all of the X-Men's identities are publicly known. Everybody knows who the X-Men are.
I think they did that on purpose so there could be comparison. Like rock stars like the Fantastic Four.
But
But
mutants
in the
are
regard, like
not considered rock stars.
some, not all.
I mean, it, in the
They're
in
not like
all
the
X-Men
Morlocks
lore,
that had to
no,
live
no, no, no. They're absolutely not
underground
like the
under
Morlocks.
sewers.
But if anyone, like, regardless of if you do look, or you can present yourself and pass yourself off as a non-mutant, as a human, once those people find out that you are a mutant, then the prejudice, like in a switch. Is immediate. Like, oh, you're a mutant? Ugh. It was
Oh,
like,
not
but
the
I look like a normal person. You were fine talking to me 2 seconds ago, but now that
oh
you
no, not
found out I'm a
the
mutant, you want me to get away from you. I mean, they have some people that don't
Get
like that.
out of my town, you dirty beauty! Get out of here,
That's
you
essentially what
dirty
it is.
beauty! Well, they got groups for those. I just feel bad for those groups when they try to attack that home. You know what? I shouldn't say that because the X Mansion's been attacked multiple times.
Almost
You know how
daily.
Charles Xavier say, "I feel
Almost daily.
sorry for any soul who comes to that school looking for to make trouble" or whatever you say.
Yeah.
That's not a threat, dude. Like people come and just knock your school over. Like I need all these enhanced individuals or mutant individuals that should be the most deadliest place ever. But you got all these kids, they don't know how to use their powers.
I
Like
feel like
I
that
need
makes it
you to
more dangerous
scare
and
them.
more deadly.
If you say so. That's all I can tell you. Listen, maybe season two, I doubt it, will be better than season one. I doubt it. I just wanted you to know. I think it's only fair to give it a fair shake. I doubt it. I'm saying I doubt it because they filmed season two when they did season one.
Right.
So we're gonna kind of see the same thing. They'll probably look at it and say, "Oh no, let's just A&R this, or add a couple of scenes and some reshoots, and then you'll get season two of the same thing." But since they're working on season three, you might get something worth watching in season three,
And yeah,
which will
and
be bad.
and then that's the thing because with the reshoots, I know they reshot different parts of season one, but I don't know how far into what we got as season one, how far they were into that before they started doing the reshoot. So what they separated and made season two could possibly be more cohesive because they shot parts of season one and were like, okay, well, that didn't work, so we need to reshoot it. But then after they started reshooting those episodes, then they you know went into the rest of the episodes for season two. So I don't know if it can be more cohesive if they actually got around to doing something that made a little bit more sense, or if it's going to be more of this where they already had something that was fully fleshed out and then they had to change it up for reshoot. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think the latter. That's just me.
No, I
He
mean,
didn't
that's
go in the dumpster physically,
there's still another season.
me-
Well, still another
metaphorically.
2 more seasons to come.
They gonna have to step it up. Maybe they need to go back and binge watch the Netflix version and see what works. Don't double down, but like
That's what I'm
balance
saying.
it
I think
out.
they did. It was like, okay, this is what people enjoyed, so let's go ahead and try to give them more of that. But you can't, if you're going to do something like that, you have to be innovative with it. You can't just like, oh, this, but more of it. And then expect people to be
Yes,
like,
more
oh, that's,
blood,
yes, more
more
blood,
blood
more long takes, more,
should come from the ceilings. Yeah, and I'm glad you bringing the light on these long takes. First of all, eh, I know y'all seen Ryan Coogler do it in Black Panther, and now everybody want to do it because he wasn't the first to do it. I think Charlie's Angels is known for theirs. Done very well when they had LL Cool J walk through the airplane. But
I
I'm throw
mean,
this
it's
out here.
been done
Y'all
many times
leaning
by
on
many
it.
different people.
Y'all leaning on it a little too hard now. These long takes is not as spectacular as you think.
No, because
Or if
people
you're going
know
to
they
do
know how
it,
it's done now, and so you can't hide the cuts well. I mean, you
but
have to do an actual long take for it to be impressive. But the thing about it, like I said, you can't just do a long take and think that it's going to be impressive just because it's a long take. It has to
right,
be actual.
you
There
gotta
has to be
put your
depth
own
to it.
spin on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, put it like this, and we're giving this away for free, Sweater. So if you see it, all we ask is for credit. Do your long take, but inside your long take, you see how they were doing, how they was showcasing Daredevil, how his senses worked. So you could do a long take, fan over here, go over here, but show different effects and then turn around and give us like a different perspective inside the long take and still follow this way and that way and turn around, fan out, and give us a full perspective before you go into the action of whatever you're about to show.
And they
Do
tried
well.
to do that at the gala because you remember we were bouncing around in different conversations. We started off with Sheila and Daniel, and they were talking, and he went to go talk to BB, and so they went and followed him to talk to her, and they were like, "Oh, shots, let's go get shots." And then while they were walking away, we stopped on the table with the politician's wife, and she was talking to Swordsman, and she was like, "Oh, where have you seen my husband?" And then they left that conversation, and then so it was following them, but in the conversation between Daniel and BB, they stopped the long take and they did a oneer where it was cutting from person to person. Then after they were finished with that conversation, then they followed the next conversation where it was a two shot. So it was a two shot long take followed to BB and Daniel. Then it was a oneer with cut between the two of them. Left that conversation a long take to the next conversation with Swordsman, and that was a two shot. So it's like you got to make up your mind. You could have simply followed that whole long take the whole way through, bounced us around the whole ballroom till we got back to where we first started, and that would have been impressive. But you want to take a long take and then break it up and then do a long take again. It's like that
It's too
ruins the
much.
spirit of it.
It's too much. It's too much.
But I don't know.
I do know. I know. I know. I like Daredevil so much. I just need him
You need
to
him to
be
stop.
have a. I just know a happy ever after is
Oh,
what it is.
that's not
Because
gonna
I want
happen.
him.
No
Okay,
superhero gets
see,
happy ever after.
whoa, whoa. There are a lot of superheroes, sir, that go off and live their best days after the hang up the cape. They hang up the cape and they farm.
Name
They
three.
they make a name three what
Name
retired.
three heroes that hung up the cape or tights or whatever they wear in their hero days, and they went on to live a life happily ever after with no troubles, no drama, not getting pulled back into the fray and having to deal with that nonsense all over again.
Batman, Superman, and Mighty Mouse.
You are a lie, and I don't know about Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse is I only needed one.
No, I said name three.
Yeah, but I only needed one example. You just
No,
asked me to name three.
no.
Mighty Mouse is an icon. How do you not know Mighty Mouse?
I can guarantee you that there
Mighty
are a
Mighty
lot of
Mouse,
people who do not know
Mighty
Mighty
Mouse.
Mouse.
Well, you're right again, but Mighty Mouse is okay. So Mighty Mouse, Danger Mouse, and then Underdog
Did they ever
all
really
hung up the
retire?
cape. Yeah, they're done. Their run is done. There are no new episodes. They retired.
Okay,
Mighty
so
Mouse,
just cartoons then.
Danger Mouse. You said hero. You didn't specify.
Sure,
I could have said Yogi Bear.
that's not a superhero.
There's you seen him with a picnic basket? He does.
Being skilled at a certain thing does not make you a superhero.
What? Isn't that what Bullseye is? Isn't that what
He's
Hawkeye
not a
is?
superhero.
Isn't that what Taskmaster
It's
was?
about what you do with those skills. If all you're
See,
doing
now
with
you
those
sound like Uncle
skills,
Ben.
if all you're doing with
Now
great
you sound
power
like Tony
comes great
Stark.
responsibility, Yogi. If all you're doing with those skills is stealing picnic baskets, you're no better
Hey,
than the rest of
Spider,
the film.
Spider. It's New York over here. Give me this picnic basket. For
Hey,
Ranger.
boo! Uncle Ben told me. Oh, but let us know what you thought about season one of Daredevil Born Again. Did you think it was
Depressed devil.
super? Depressed Devil Born Again. But let us know what you thought about it. But remember, if you like this episode, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
And leave a comment because we read them comments. Hey, listen, we like to thank y'all all the time, and y'all should know that because if y'all subscribe, y'all will get these thanks
This is true.
plenty plentiful thanks because we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we're very
And
grateful. Very grateful.
for each and every last person that hit the subscribe button, the like button, the follow button, the share button, and hit all kind of buttons to remind you. There'll be a reminder button soon to remind you. But if you
You
subscribe
don't
now,
need
you'll
it.
be
You
reminded.
won't need it.
It's a notifications. I tricked you. It's a notification bell. It's the same thing. I know. I got you excited, and then I immediately let you down. But I gave you the option of just calling it something else. So hit that, and then you'll be notified. Which reminds you that your favorite show has episodes that you haven't seen before. And who knows where the conversation will go? Because we don't know.
We sure
That's the
don't.
that's the best part I love about this show. It could go anywhere.
But what we do know is what we have coming up next. So, next episode, letting y'all in on the nitty gritty so you can know what to look
Dun,
for.
dun.
Next episode, we are going to be reviewing Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B.
Ryan
Jordan,
Coogler,
Haley
Michael B.
Steinfeld,
Jordan. This is the duo. Well, I don't know about a trio, but this is the duo that's just man. Come on, it's Fruitvale Station. Come on, Black Panther. Come on, Creed. Come on, what? Now Sinners.
and it's already getting a lot of buzz. So we'll see exactly how good it is. But
Y'all know we gonna let y'all know. We
following
gonna
that,
let
we're
y'all.
headed back to the MCU because that is when we will be reviewing Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
Asterisk,
Asterisk.
asterisk, asterisk. You gotta put that asterisk in there. Just so in your face with it.
It is. They're making a huge point to identify the asterisk at the end of Thunderbolts. But we will finally, hopefully, get to see exactly what that asterisk is for once we review the film. But those will be our.
It's for spoilers. It's for
It's
spoilers
for
because they
spoiler.
spoiled it.
Yes, they did.
Marvel spoiled it.
They as they do. But we'll see exactly
Respect
what the
as they do.
spoilers result in. And hopefully you'll be right here with us while we review those two films. But thank you all once again for joining us for this episode. We greatly appreciate all the love, all the support. We hope to see you in the next one. But just remember, until then, keep being super.
And wash your hands often with soap.